like to stay alone to keep my head from exploding. People call me crazy, well, they're just hoping.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. This is episode number 158, and my name is Henry.
And I'm Paul.
This week, we have a pretty good show for you. We have a review of Paul Greengrass's new film, News of the World, which is currently on VOD. And is it in theaters as well, or is it just VOD?
Who knows?
That's true.
And honestly, does it matter if it's in theaters? Who's going to a theater?
Yeah, that's true. I doubt anyone listening to this is doing that, but it is on VOD currently. And then I figured we could touch on that Godzilla versus Kong trailer.
Yeah, sure.
Perhaps. And, we have other stuff we watched, and who knows what else might fall in there. Mm-hmm. So thanks again for joining us. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This week has been kind of a busy week. There's some good stuff happening over at Sane that hopefully we'll be able to make some sort of announcement on in the next month or more, probably, realistically. But good things are happening over there. The novella that I mentioned months ago, Doom in a Darker Sky, made it to semifinals. So that's pretty much been my week.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. How have you been?
Been all right, man. Just been staying pretty busy. I'm in school, as I've said in the past. And so, yeah, it's my final semester. And so things are kind of wrapping up in a heated fashion, busy fashion. But yeah, all considering, doing all right. And yeah, just been doing some Music Buds interviews and other stuff like that. So yeah, nothing too crazy to mention, but I guess that's the stamp of the Film Buds.
Yeah. Well, I saw that your new one is Tomb Raider for Music Buds.
Yeah, the guy he did the one that's out now is the guy who did the music for Tomb Raider in 2013, the video game Tomb Raider, the Dead Space franchise.
Oh, okay.
He did Far Cry Primal as well.
Okay.
So some cool picks. That was a good time. So check that out if that's your thing. And even if it's not, just check it out. Why not?
Yeah, learn something.
Yeah.
Expand.
Yeah.
Far Cry Primal and Tomb Raider definitely make a lot of sense. I played both of those games, and now that you mention that, I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. He was a really cool composer. So that was a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not too much else to mention, really. Anything for you, or should we get to it?
Yeah, let's hop into it. Let's do some News of the World.
All right. Yeah, let's get into our review of News of the World. And we do have a clip for this one, so take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Captain Jefferson Kyle Kidd, and I'm here tonight to read the news from across this great world of ours.
So they pay you to tell stories. I ain't never heard of that as a thing a man can do.
Well, it's not a rich man's occupation, as you can see.
Hey! Stop! Stop! I'm not gonna hurt you!
Do you understand English?
Dog, jeg kan godt,
Friend. It says your name is Johanna Leonberger. Indians took you when they attacked your family 6 years prior. The mother, father, and sister were... well, they passed.
All right. News of the World. As we said, it's on VOD now. And it is directed by Paul Greengrass. It stars Tom Hanks, Helena Zengel, Tom Astor, Travis Johnson, Ray McKinnon, Mar Winningham. Am I forgetting anybody?
No, and I mean, let's be frank. Your dad is going to see this movie because it has Tom Hanks.
Yes.
It's a star vehicle for Tommy Boy.
Yeah. The synopsis is a Civil War veteran agrees to deliver a girl taken by the Kiowa people years ago to her aunt and uncle against her will. Man, that's a messy sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to start over. Okay, so a Civil War veteran agrees to deliver a girl taken by the Kiowa people years ago to her aunt and uncle against her will. They travel hundreds of miles and face grave dangers as they search for a place that either can call home. That's that's a weird.
Yeah, that's someone needed to tighten that up. Essentially, since that synopsis isn't great, there's a little girl who was taken by, her family was murdered by a tribe, and she ended up getting taken. And now she's been sort of found again, and she's being shipped across the country, and Tom Hanks ends up getting conscripted into being her caregiver.
Yeah, much more clear.
And by the way, if anyone knows what the actual pronunciation is and thinks that they can type it up and give it to us.
Sure. Yeah,
go for it.
Well, Paul, you briefly touched on this one a couple weeks ago, week or two ago, I think. Do you want to kick things off?
Sure. So News of the World it's a classic Western story in the sense that like it's sort of the archetype of old grizzled man with past that is sad.
Yes.
Travels cross country with girl who has something resembling spunk or zest or whatever you want to call it that sort of, kicks in this kind of thing for him to kind of clean up his act so that he can be there for this child. So it's in the same vein of like a True Grit or a Logan. And overall, I think it's really good. Paul Greengrass is the director of the Bourne film, so I was like, are we going to get a shaky cam Western? But it's a pretty clear movie.
Sadly.
It's very well composed. I think that it's an enjoyable film. I think that if you aren't a fan of Westerns, I'm not sure that this is the one that's going to sell you. And that's kind of where I'll start. What did you think of it?
Yeah, overall, I thought it was solid. I thought it was, especially being a Paul Greengrass movie, I thought it was a bit maybe too soft, maybe a little too nice.
A little tame.
Yeah, on some of the issues and some of the ideas. Overall, I liked it, though. I mean, he did the Bourne Identity and the Bourne. Oh no, wait, he did the whole. No, he didn't. No, he did the Bourne.
He did Supremacy and Ultimatum, and then he did the Jason Bourne.
Yes.
Return of Matt Damon after Legacy.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I love the Bourne trilogy, the original one. And then I love Captain Phillips. And he did 22 July, I think, recently on Netflix.
And he also did United 93, which is a tough but great film.
It is, yes. He also, and you did touch on Jason Bourne, which I would say is his worst film.
Yeah,
for me.
By a mile. Yeah. That's the worst Bourne film.
Yeah. And so overall, I mean, I love Westerns, and so I'm kind of naturally just kind of it's going to resonate with me. I thought Tom Hanks was very good. This is a very dad movie, as you said.
Yeah.
It's going to be playing on AMC on repeat, for a long time, I'm sure. And that's okay. I mean, it definitely has its target audience down. I think it did do a decent job of touching on some relevant issues or current issues, like some disinformation is in there, and also leaders wanting to try and, I guess, lead with compassion as well, and respect and decency. And so it does get into some ideas like that are interesting and feel very 2020. So overall, it's tight. It's fairly tight. It looks great. It's probably his best looking film. And I did like the score a lot by James Newton Howard, who did like Hunger Games and a lot of other ones. Yeah. So yeah, overall, it's by far not my favorite of his, but it's still a solid film.
Yeah. I think this movie is like just a few tweaks away from like greatness. And I think the first one you really hit on is absolutely correct. I think it needed to be a little harder edged. There's a moment early in the film where there is what's obviously meant to be a black man who's been lynched, but like beyond his hands, we don't really see any of that imagery. Not that you need to see another movie with a lynching, but like, they pay it a little bit of lip service, but they don't really like get deep into race and race violence and things like that, and that sort of thing. So no, I think you're right. They definitely kind of nibble around those issues, and I think that they needed to like maybe pick a few more and take like a harder dive into them.
Mhm.
The other big thing is, I think that so when I was watching the movie, we got to the gunfight. The first, it's like a pretty classic sort of 5-act movie. And so the first act is introducing our characters, their dilemma, everything, and then setting them into the world of the unknown. And then act 2 is man versus man. Act 3 is man versus society. And then it's man versus nature. And then it finishes off with man versus self. And Tom Hanks learns his lesson and we move on. And the man versus man thing is this shootout that happens with a character that you meet kind of right as he enters into the world of the unknown. And as I was watching the movie, I was like, man, this is a great shootout. This is some good creative ways of giving your character something, but then taking it a little bit away and having to really claw in. And I was watching it and I was like, man, either the final gunfight of this movie is going to be fucking nuts or they shot their load too early. And so then when not another bullet got fired in the rest of the movie and we got to the end, I was like, they did it too soon. And I think that since the guy was like, I'm going to come after you, I'm going to get you. I think that I needed like a 1-act break before I saw him again. So that way suddenly I was like, oh shit, he did come back. He promised, he meant it. He's here, And so, I think that this movie was kind of like right on the cusp of greatness, but I think that it just needed like another pass at the script or at like the edit or something. But I just think it needed a little something in there to kind of, to push it over that line. 'Cause there was just something for me that, and maybe I can't, I think that those are the two big things, but they were just really holding it back for me from really making that move into being like, this is great. This is a really great one. And I think that that's probably my biggest note for the movie was just, it had some pacing issues for me. It definitely, I agree. It needed to be a harder movie because it's a pretty soft PG-13.
No, I agree. It is tame. And I think that shootout is great. Like it harkens back to those classic Westerns that are really gritty and intense and sharp. And I love that moment. I think that with you talking about the act breaks, it does seem like it starts out and it's going to be maybe a little bit more grand than it is because it kind of settles into this road trip film. And that's fine in a sense, but that kind of causes it to have its ups and downs in terms of pacing. And so I think it kind of settles into a little bit of a rut. And so there were parts where I kind of lost interest here and there. But again, I think Tom Hanks, he's easy to like. And I love Tom Hanks in general, but I think he is quite nuanced in this and it's a good performance. And I thought the girl in it was quite good as well. She's new. Yeah. She was excellent. And it doesn't really, there aren't many moments that get overly emotional in terms of sentimentality. Like I thought it coasted along, but in that respect, it did it. But then, as we were talking about with, certain storylines and the overall style, it could have been a little bit more intense. Yeah.
Also, there was this notion once he gets toward Journey's End and he's talking to the guy, his old war buddy, and he's like, we were fighting another man's war and that kind of thing. And I was like, Tom, you're 65 and the war was like not that long ago. Like you and this old fart were no spring chickens back when the war was happening. I felt like I love Tom Hanks, but again, it's just one of those things where I was like, either you cast Tom Hanks and then you didn't decide to like change any of the writing of that to kind of make it more applicable to an older man, or, you were just so bent on, or you just didn't, give much mind and thought. But that's, just another, like, I guess, sort of nitpicky detail. But also, I guess my only other thing with Tom Hanks was I know that he fought in the war, but there was nothing about him as a person that seemed like I'm going to fight in the war type. And so I guess I was a little bit curious about like, and maybe I don't need to know that for the character now. But at the time I was like, there's something about you being like a veteran and maybe even especially a veteran of the Confederacy, where I just am not sure that I'm really buying whatever it was that motivated you to join, unless you were like already military when you joined, like when the war started, you know.
Sure.
But I don't know. I thought that it was just kind of a weird choice to have him be like a veteran.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to that like man with a dark past, kind of trope, you know. And yeah, I agree. It's a little iffy. I mean, I guess it kind of makes more sense for Tom Hanks that it's just kind of in the middle of everything.
Yeah,
it doesn't make him out to be too bad of a guy, nor too good.
Yeah,
you know, he's just there. It's harmless in a way, and it does the job. But I wish that coming from like Paul Greengrass, it could have been a little more, you know.
Yeah, and you know, like I went, and so like my wife isn't really like a big Western person. She grew up, she saw some of them because her dad watched Westerns, but she never really got into the Western genre. And so I decided to take her all the way back to 1939 with Stagecoach.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Stagecoach does a really good job. You know, that movie is pretty tame, you know, by modern movie standards, but I thought it did a great job at like conveying its classicism narrative and working in like a good build of tension throughout, because you don't really get to any of the big action beats until you start to get to the end of the movie, where they finally are chased down by the Apaches, and then the lead up to, you know, the tense gunfight between John Wayne and the brothers that you don't get to see because of movie standards at the time. But no, I think that that's like a better example of what they were trying to achieve, you know, because it's a road trip Western, just like this. And yeah, you know, even going back to 1939, there was just that extra level of tension and attention to detail and really committing to the theme and that kind of thing that I thought really worked out great in that movie's favor. And so it was interesting that the Western that I ended up showing her was another road trip Western, and I hadn't even planned on that. But no, it's a great genre, and I think that it's a good example. But yeah, I stand by my sort of first statement of, if you're not sold on it, this isn't going to be the one to do it, because you're going to get after the gunfight and you're going to be like, oh,
yeah, yeah. And I will say, as much as I love Westerns, I am getting a little tired of the kind of paternal, you know, storyline or dynamic. Like, you know, True Grit is or the remake True Grit, Slow West as well with Michael Fassbender recently, and it's just kind of becoming a bit tired at this point. Like there's a lot of interesting dynamics that can come from that, but we've had a few too many that it's really starting to wear out its welcome for me.
Yeah, there's one coming out, or it already came out. It's a mini-series event on Showtime with Ethan Hawke, and I'm interested in that one. But no, you're absolutely right. Like it's a pretty tried and true kind of thing right now. And, you know, I think that there are so many more things that you can do with the Western. And, you know, I think that for the most part, people just sort of use the Western as a pretty simple action adventure genre now. You know, no one really goes. And you do still have the occasional kind of great ones nowadays, but it's definitely a genre that's gotten sort of less in vogue, even though I think that its messaging is still very useful.
Yeah.
And relevant to today.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that one reason why I think I'm noticing the dynamic more is that because these movies like this are so lean in their storytelling, that it kind of hinges on that dynamic. And so it's not like it's some huge, you know, like Hateful Eight kind of scenario. It's like you're with those two characters the majority of the time. And it's like we've seen this many times at this point. And it does it does a decent job of bringing up some interesting ideas and questions. But yeah, I'm hoping there aren't too many more of these.
Yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, I love Tom Hanks tremendously. I think that he's a very incredible actor, and I think that he's even done some great work producing and directing and things like that.
Yeah.
But like both of his turns recently, Greyhound and News of the World, for me, are both very like middle of the road to lesser Tom Hanks films.
Yeah. He's just having fun.
Yeah, honestly, he's doing things, where he gets to really do the exact things that he wants to do. And, he's a massive war buff. So he went and he did this ultra detailed war movie, He's a big history guy and the Civil War and that kind of thing. And he's like a descendant of Lincoln on his mom's side. And so, of course he goes off and does some sort of, post-Civil War Western, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, how does this rank? I mean, we did talk about Westerns a few weeks ago. How does this compare to recent ones for you?
Pretty down. I mean, like out of the modern Westerns I've seen recently, I mean, I guess I do prefer this over the Denzel Magnificent Seven.
Oh, for sure. Hey, no argument there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's a low bar to cross. But like compared to Hell or High Water or Hateful Eight or Django or some of the other ones that we've had, it's also not those.
What about the Ridiculous Six?
Never seen it.
Oh. Coming next week.
Oh God.
But no,
we'll do. How about we do a whole special episode? We'll do a whole bonus show where we do the Netflix Adam Sandler comedies.
Oh God. I mean, I would love to do that, but yeah, that would be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, that's a hell week right there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's solid. It's not one that's really going to stick with me all that much, but it was watching it. It was all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about news of the world?
No, not really.
All righty. Out of 5, Paul?
3?
Yeah, I'm 3.5. Yeah,
okay.
It's Tom Hanks. I'll go 3.5.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, solid 3 for me.
Give him the bump. All right.
Upvote.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Well, with that done, I guess we can touch on some news. So I guess the big thing is the new trailer, or the first trailer rather, for Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Has just been released, and it's coming on HBO Max and in theaters on March 26th.
Mm-hmm.
So not too long away.
Yeah.
And this is the sequel to, I'm guessing, Kong Skull Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is it's a direct follow-up to King of Monsters.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, thank you.
And then we're bringing back it's Kong, but I don't think that anyone from the Kong cast is coming back since that was Nam, unless they want to like digitally age them up.
Please no.
But yeah, I guess we'll start here. How do you feel about the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, Kong, and then Godzilla King of Monsters?
So that's a good question. So I loved Gareth Edwards' Godzilla. I thought that was great. And I thought Kong Skull Island was one of the worst films of all time.
Yeah.
Brutal. And I thought Godzilla King of the Monsters was solid. I saw it in IMAX, so that kind of helped it a little bit. I think that it's by far better than Kong. Mm-hmm. But it would be Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and then Kong. Skull Island.
That's fair.
So, yeah. What about you?
No, I completely agree with that. I'm actually a little bit in the contrarian camp of being a huge fan of the Gareth Edwards Godzilla. I think it's great. I love that you don't see the monsters just fighting the whole movie. That he really teases it until you finally get to have the fight, and then the fight is fucking great. They killed the wrong guy. It definitely should have been Aaron Taylor Johnson that died, not Bryan Cranston. But, that's beside the point. Sure. I completely agree with Kong. I hate it. I don't know why people think that it's so much better than the others.
And see, it's really too bad because Jacob Bowers was supposed to be on this episode, and I think he really likes it. It's a shame that he's not here because I would love to hear him explain it. Yeah, maybe we can get him on for the review of it. So, but no, I agree.
I don't understand it. It's like most of the deaths, I can't decide if I'm supposed to be taking this seriously or laughing at them. So like death ends up just being really meaningless for me. Yeah. I think Tom Hiddleston is hilariously miscast.
I think, and Brie Larson has nothing to do.
No. And also, compared to like, not that you have to do the same thing each time, but like compared to other Kong stories, this isn't even a superior Kong film. If you want a better Kong movie, go back to Peter Jackson in 2005. Every Kong battle is just him in a giant field. Oh, and that's the other thing. Since we never really see him in anything other than just like Valley, we never really get a true sense of scale. And since we never see like a small Skullwalker against a big Skullwalker against Kong, like there never to me is any real clear sense of how big anything is in relation to itself. Mm-hmm. And whereas like when I watch Godzilla, I know exactly how big Godzilla is and everything else that's around it.
And one reason why is because it's always shot from a human being's perspective, or almost always. And so you're always like, oh, I'm on the ground and I see Godzilla, as tall as a skyscraper. So you get that immediate perspective.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I just think Kong is a messy, messy movie. And I think that King of Monsters it's directed by Mike Dougherty, who did Trick or Treat and Krampus.
Yes.
And I think that it has that same kind of kooky energy, which isn't great for some people, but for me, I liked it. But I'm also in the camp that likes Pacific Rim. So, no, I think that they're very good. This, I think, looks like dog shit. Now let's get to the actual thing, the Kong versus...
I wasn't like excited to watch the trailer. I just watched it like an hour ago. God, it just looks like nothing.
Yeah.
It's all CG. Yeah. It's two like meatheads just brawling. Mm-hmm. There aren't interesting perspectives. There aren't interesting visuals. All the visuals are the same thing. It's that orangey, like color corrected blue. Mm-hmm. And I totally agree. Like I wasn't anticipating it, when the last one came out. I was like, oh, I have to see this. But I'm even less interested at this point after watching the trailer. And I'm not going to be seeing it in theaters. Yeah. So it's like,
no, for sure. I loved the notion of doing more Godzilla films. I loved the notion of doing like a big scale movie monster sort of verse thing. I thought that sounded fun, because you can't do it forever. It has like a built-in off switch. And so I was really game for like, 6 movies that were kind of schlocky. And now I'm just like, let it die. Like, let this. Because also it's like, oh, Godzilla's now the bad guy. What's making him bad? I don't know. But there's something out there pulling the strings. And I'm like, oh, we're doing the Batman versus Superman approach to this narrative. I see. Yes. Good.
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, And and also, I'm sorry, but I'm definitely in the camp of there's no way that fucking ape beats Godzilla.
I agree.
And if there ends up being some sort of way where somehow that idiot fucking moron gorilla ends up beating him, I'm just going to be so grumpy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Let's before the movie starts, let's make sure what the name of their mother is before we start.
Yeah.
So that way they can just,
Bond over it.
Yeah. Stop the fight right there. Yeah.
Why did you say that name? Mothra will show up. It's his mother's name.
Yeah. Oh boy. But no, I'm not looking forward to it, and I'll see it. I have HBO Max, so I will watch it, but I'm not ready for it.
No,
not
and
wanting it.
I think the week before it, I think they moved it back a week to make room for the Justice League movie.
Oh yeah, I was going to touch on that. Yeah. So now the Justice League Snyder Cut is going to be released on HBO Max on March 18th. So it is going to be a feature film, probably quite long, and it's going to hit on March 18th on HBO Max. So, I mean, we've touched on it a little bit. Are you looking forward to that one? Are you? How you feeling?
If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be 4 hours. It's supposed to be a 4-hour movie. And I promise you, And I don't care if any of our listeners are one of you absolute assholes that even made this movie happen with your release the Snyder Cut bullshit.
Jared Leto.
Pox upon you. Because now we're going to have to sit through this 4-hour heap of shit. And the reason that they decided to pivot from a miniseries to a movie is because they realized that no one was going to come the fuck back after episode 1. I promise you it's going to be brutal. There was nothing that was going to save that movie. That's why the Joss Whedon movie is bad too, is because it was grown from ruined soil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I this year's not looking amazing so far. I mean,
no.
Which I mean, in a sense makes it makes sense considering the situation we're all in. But yeah,
brutal.
Movies are just getting worse.
Brutal year, just brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, and at some point, some of these people, and maybe the studios disagree, but I think at some point they're going to have to give. And I know that they're all thinking that they can hold out indefinitely, but I think at some point a lot of them are just going to have to fucking cave, because also at a certain point I don't think that there's just going to be any hype to drive people to that theater other than like the theaters are back open again, but like no movie's meant to be marketed for 2 years, and like we're coming up on like 2 years of marketing for this Bond film, and like, is anyone actually excited for it anymore? It's the thing that keeps coming but isn't here.
I have a friend. He was actually on the very first episode of Film Buds, who's like a complete diehard Bond fan, and like every time I see it get delayed, I'm just like, this guy must be heartbroken. He's just like lashes out on social media. So that guy cares. I know he cares. Bless him. But I don't really.
Yeah, exactly. Like at a certain point, I'm going to be more interested in like what's sort of like, one, I'm already burnt out just in general on a lot of things, but two, like, I'm going to be excited for the new things that are in theaters. I'm not going to be like, oh, that movie that I've been seeing the same trailer for forever. No, I think that I know what happens in it. I've seen enough marketing,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can figure this out. I'll just go and watch all the trailers on a loop for like an hour, and I think that I'll get the movie figured out.
Yeah. It's a good Saturday night.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Well, any other news, Paul, you want to touch on?
No, not really. I mean, we tragically this week lost both Cloris Leachman at 94 and Cicely Tyson at 96. Both of them are icons. Cloris Leachman is one of my all-time faves from the Mel Brooks comedies. She's just solid.
Yeah, and Mary Tyler Moore as well.
Yeah. So yeah, some unfortunate deaths and definite loss for media history, but at least we have them in the movies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no mail this week, but so yeah, we'll save mail for next week. So the Film Buds podcast at gmail.com is where you can reach us at. Also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Film Buds. So if you haven't followed us there, please do, and check out the mailing list on the filmbuds.com. It's an easy sign up. Oh, and one cool thing I'll mention that I told you, Paul, Film Buds had more downloads in January than ever before.
Woo!
That's crazy. So thanks to everybody for doing that, whether you're a new listener or if you've just been listening for a lot. That's pretty cool. So thanks.
Yeah, well, I know for a fact that at least one new listener has been my cousin Bailey. So if my cousin Bailey currently is listening to this, sup, you young asshole, you young ruffian, you scamp, you scoundrel.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks again to everybody for that. It means a lot. So, all right. Well, I guess we can end off with our picks of the week. Paul, you want to kick things off? You got much?
I'm not sure, like, if I've really watched anything. Oh, you know what? It's not a new movie, but it's a movie that I haven't watched since. It's a movie that I hadn't watched in literally a decade. Gattaca.
Oh yeah.
Ethan Hawke, Jude Law, Uma Thurman, Alan Arkin. Great movie. Really well thought out. Slow movie, but like not uninteresting. Like it's a chill movie, but it's very gripping. And there's a lot of power in the message of the movie. And it has that right kind of true melancholic sort of nostalgic feeling to it that I can't quite describe. It's a good one. You should watch it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Any others for you?
I ended up going like really sci-fi this week, I guess. I did like Gattaca, I did Interstellar. And this was my first time watching that one in 4K at home, and it was just gorgeous. Yeah, all the so my wife and I have been keeping a list of everything that we've been watching this year. And Christopher Nolan is currently our most watched director. It's only two. It's Dunkirk and Interstellar, but he's currently our most watched director.
Yeah, on Letterboxd, which is a cool like kind of social media site for cinephiles. I used to have the pro account that showed me all my like the top directors, top actors, and I think Christopher Nolan was up there for me as well. I think Spielberg was another, but that's not a surprise. So
I got the Letterboxd app, but I haven't actually officially set it up. So I'll go and I'll start posting on there, and so who knows, maybe I'll end up chatting with some Film Buds listeners over there.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll get into arguments and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, hey, friend of the show, Sky Tilly, is on there, as well as Jacob.
Perfect. I can get on there and tell him why he's wrong.
We can just have a long little forum, you know, in the comments. So great. Well, I don't have anything new. I just have some rewatches. I rewatched Night at the Museum.
Oh, great one.
Yeah, which is always fun. I do like the movie overall, and I think it there's almost like a nostalgic, appreciation there. I do wish it was a little funnier for me. I think that there are so many attempts at comedy that it tends to fall flat more than it does to hit it.
There are so many attempts, he says.
Yeah. Yes. Like, I think Ricky Gervais is very funny, and, the whole cast overall is solid. I think Robin Williams is probably my favorite part about it. But no, it's just a fun adventure movie, and I was kind of growing up when that series came out. Hey, another great idea for a bonus show, Paul. Night at the Museum trilogy.
Sure, why not?
And so yeah, it's a fun time. And then I rewatched Master and Commander at the Far Side of the World, which is amazing. Like it is so underrated. It feels, as real as it can. It feels so authentic and real. That the world itself that it builds is great. It's well directed. It's well acted. The score is fantastic. The sound design of being on the ship is great. And so if you haven't seen that, it's on Amazon Prime. So check that out. It's a good one. Then I rewatched The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which is a classic. It's, can't go wrong there. And then I rewatched The Guardian, starring Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher. Okay. Which is about this Coast Guard rescue swimmer or the Coast Guard rescue swimmer group. And Kevin Costner is kind of aging out of he's a legend, but he's kind of losing his touch. And then Ashton Kutcher is the like super like pretty boy, swim team athlete who comes in and starts like crushing it and doesn't think he needs to like, study or prepare or anything. And
it's like Top Gun with the National Guard.
Yeah. It's interesting in that way. Like it, and I think from what I know, I'm not an expert. I haven't been in the group, but it feels like it's giving them respect. I think it shows the training, and I think it does that in a pretty authentic way. But the storyline itself is a little too predictable. Like you can kind of see how the dynamic between the two characters is going to go. Ashton Kutcher, though, is quite good in it. I will say that. He's not an actor I love, but I remember having watched special features years ago, and they said that he trained so hard that the instructor said he could have easily gotten through that program if he had done it for real. And so, I think there is some dedication there. And overall, it didn't hold up as well as I had hoped, but it's still an interesting film. Okay. And it's a very worthwhile story because it's showing this, these rescue swimmers.
Okay. Not bad.
I think that's about it. I've just kind of been rewatching stuff. So not too many new things. Just waiting for Kong, Paul.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else about anything?
No, thanks everyone for listening. Share it, tell people about it.
Please.
It always helps. You don't have to be like a peddler for us. This isn't an MLM. We're not a pyramid scheme, but it's always appreciated. Go and check out Sane Show also, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like the stuff that he's doing over on Music Buds. We do kind of similar stuff, but with a very broad range of people. We're interviewing this week. This I can say because we already got him locked for the interview. We're interviewing one of the producers of the Kings of Comedy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's going to be an upcoming one to look out for. And we also have, I don't think I mentioned this, upcoming we've got a model who she's been a sort of creature actor in The Last Jedi and Solo.
Oh, wow.
And she's
That's
a model
awesome.
as well. And I think she's done some movement coaching for the Star Wars films. And in Solo, she's the lounge singer.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. So go give all that stuff a listen. Who knows? I might go and try and find some way to make Doom in a Darker Sky, my novel, my little short available, sometime in the near future for potential reading. Beyond that, as always, I've told it to you before, go out and create. There's nothing happening right now, so you might as well entertain yourself and learn something about yourself in the process. So go out and make something, you lazy sons of bitches.
Yeah. Stop listening to Film Buds right now. Go do something.
Do something while listening to it.
Yeah.
We're a good crafting listen.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, now next week, I guess, there, as always, there are kind of endless options. Anything in particular, Paul, you're thinking about?
I've got a few ideas. I'll let you know.
All right. Yeah, well, you can stay updated about all that on social media, again, at FilmBuds and then at thefilmbuds.com. And, please rate and review and subscribe, all that good stuff if you haven't already. And thank you to all those who have. And yeah, well, Paul, man, it's always great to see you. And thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, great to see you too, man. Always good to be here.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And we'll see you next time.